Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight. So delighted to be joined by former world champion Charlie Edwards. Charlie, last time we spoke we were at Bolton. You were telling us, look, I'm coming back, we're just getting the final bit sorted. You're here at a Boxer show, close to a comeback. Any more news? I know you might not be able to say anything, but confident you're out soon.
Yeah, we are out soon. My manager Joe has been working behind the scenes. We've had a few offers come in from a few different people, and I'm back sooner rather than later now. We've got the date, I just can't announce anything as of yet, but I'm sure in the next few weeks things will be coming to light, and you'll see my name back up in the lights finally.
I'm sure with all the track record you've had and how unlucky you've been from time to time as well, you probably don't want to release a date in case it went belly up.
Listen, I've lived and breathed this boxing game now, and I know nothing's set in stone until it's actually set in stone. You get told things, you get talks about things when you're going to be here on there on that date, this date, and it hasn't happened. So I've learned the hard way, and I realise it's not done until it's out there publicly, face on a poster and pushed out by the promoter. This boxing game is not easy, to say the least, but it's a part of the parcel and part of the journey. I've just stayed focused on myself, developing myself, bettering myself day in, day out, week in, week out of the gym. With no fight date for the last year and 4 months, I've developed massively, and it will all come into fruition. And people will see, and I'm looking forward to it, and it's not far away now.
I spoke to Joe at the Champs Camp gym the other week, Moss Side, Manchester. I know he's trying to put a lot of energy into that and build that gym back up. You weren't actually there on that day. I don't know if you were ill or if you were off, and I was like, where's Charlie? And he's like, oh, he's not here. So I want to talk to you about that gym. How are you finding that transition? I know you boys used to train, and obviously Natasha and Rhiannon used to all train at the Amir Khan gym. You've moved over to this one. How are you finding it? It's a proper old school, vintage, what you associate with a boxing gym. How have you found the move over?
Yeah, definitely. A move's always interesting when you change your environment, you change your mindset, and you also, it takes a while to get used to your environment. But I think the change, it has been good, and it's got that old kind of like Kronk kind of old school kind of style, and when you're in there you do feel like kind of like a vintage old energy, old kind of spit and sawdust and graft and hard work. So yeah, it's good. And do you know what? Like, I'm a big firm believer of the law of attraction, as everyone well knows when I always speak about it. And the gym speaks for itself. And it's going to be the gym where I become a champion of the world all over again.
Well, looking into the future, obviously we spoke last time, and that's where you believe you belong. You need a fight just to get. You need to get your feet wet again. But
people think I'm retired, mate. The amount of questions I've had over these last years, mate. I've been locked away like a caged animal in the gym, for fuck's sake. And I get every day when you're fighting, and then you're told a date, and you're saying it's this date, and then it don't happen. You come back and they're asking you when you're fighting again. People probably just think I'm chatting shit. Like, it's so frustrating. It blows my mind, this boxing game. But all I can say is I've stayed true to myself, and I've developed massively, and it will show.
Well, you can only do what you can do, and we see a lot of people and they have a lot of bad luck, and you're certainly one of them guys. But we're looking forward to, obviously, a few months' time, fingers crossed, you have some form of an announcement and we can see you get back to it. Right, last time we spoke, caught fire a little bit, yourself and your brother. It was always sort of hinted at in bygone years, it was always touched on, but no one really took it that seriously. Then I spoke to you and you said, no, that can happen. And then I spoke to your brother and he goes, no, that can happen. It's like not really minor back and forth on it, but talk to me about that. You're dead serious, aren't you, about this?
Listen, it's all tongue-in-cheek, do you know what I mean? It's all tongue-in-cheek, but it's serious. Like, I'm not, like, it can happen. Of course it can happen. It's something that I would definitely entertain, and I'm sure he would entertain. But yeah, it was tongue-in-cheek. I know how to rattle my little brother. I've lived him, breathed him for all my life, and seeing what he does to everyone else, he gets everyone else and rattles them up. I can pull my brother off his chain, and I think I caught a live one with that announcement. From not wanting to speak my name in interviews and things like that to then making him have to speak my name again. It was funny. It was all fun and games, but I love my little brother, but it's always going to be that kind of like competitiveness between us, you know.
I know when I talk to other people about this, are like, oh, it never happened, brother versus brother. We never saw, Vitaly and Vladimir. But your two relationships different. Whenever we speak, even when I played Sonny at the video game, he made me play as you against him. Like you can tell when I speak to both of you, there's that competitive fire to say, you know what, we are brothers. Obviously, you do both. You think the world of each other, but this can still happen.
Of course it can. Like, obviously, like, I'm not being like, Sonny needs to go and do his thing. Like, he needs to go clear that flyweight division first and foremost. Like, he's the best flyweight in that weight division, 100%. And I do believe he can go and take all the titles if people will actually get in there and fight him, which is looking like they're all kind of dodging him. And that's real talk, because he's not been shy and he's been shouting them, but they're not entertaining it. So it's one of them. I know Sonny wants big fights, and I do believe he is the best flyweight. He will move up in weight divisions, and I believe I'm going to be one of the best bantamweights. Like, I believe I'm going to win a bantamweight world title, and it will materialise at some stage, probably when he's ready to move up, once he's done with his whatever he's done with. And you know what, like, people, because I've had a few back and forths on this, where people have like been slagging me off and saying that, and I get it. Like, boxing is the hurt business, it is, but we're two world-class operators. We're both boxers. We're not brawlers. We're not like. I probably punch harder than him. He's not a big puncher. So it's one of them things. But like, he's got great footwork and great movement. So it's not going to be like like some stand there like in a phone box sort of fight. It's going to be an absolute chess match, and it would be great for boxing to watch. Like, two world championship brothers who's just as talented as one another, and it will be a real good matchup, and Sonny is so special, and I will be the first to hold my hands up with him. I've seen back in interviews from years and years ago where I've always said, like, people laughed at me. I was like, Sonny's a different fighter. He's like Floyd Mayweather. Like, people ain't going to be able to cope with him over 12 rounds, and I'm a firm believer of that. But when you've done thousands of rounds with him, it's a different story.
Well, look, I think boxing fans, no matter whether they want to admit it or not, everyone would tune in, and God willing, you both make millions off it, which you definitely would, and it'd sell out pretty much any arena in this country. And let's see, it's not in the near future, but down the line. I want to get your opinion. John Ryder, one of his own, who's taking on Canelo going into the biggest of lions dens that you can imagine in Guadalajara for Canelo Alvarez. A lot of people are saying, look, Canelo Alvarez, we can't go against him, but John's a live dog in this fight. What do you make of the fight? It's a chance for John to really sort of flip boxing on its head.
Definitely. John's in a win-win situation, do you know what I mean? People ain't expecting him to win. I know he will have the expectation, because that's what you do when you go into a fight. You go in to win. But like, the pressure's off publicly, and even in the arena, it's going to be pressure, because there's going to be a lot of Mexicans shouting against him. But he's in a win-win situation. He puts in a good performance. He's done great. He goes and wins the title in there, which is really unlikely with especially Canelo. I think he's gonna turn up another level with all his own Mexican fans there. And if it goes close on the scorecards, John will not be in for a shot, I don't believe. However, I would love to see John do it. John is one of the real old school guys. I remember before I even turned pro, even when I was amateur, watching John fighting. And he's been through it hard. He's been used and abused, and he's come back and got great fights and won. And it's good to see. He's a real good guy of the sport, and he deserves all of this. And like I said, he's in a win-win, win, lose or draw. He's getting a financial purse that changes his and his family's life forever. So he go in there and try his best, and hopefully his best will be good enough.
Yeah, and if he does pull off what many people say would be a miracle, even if he gets the decision out there, which obviously in Mexico no one expects him to, but if he did, I'm sure there's a rematch clause in there where he'd earn a huge ton of money after that. Look, Charlie, I appreciate you giving us some of your time. We're looking forward to seeing you back in the ring, and I'm sure you're looking forward to it as well. So let's catch up again soon once you've got an announcement, and we'll talk about the fight that you're going to have. Yeah, appreciate you talking. Go on, one more.
I just want to say one more thing. I just want to say a massive thank you to my sponsor, Reece Meany at Hunter Jones, for continuing to support and sponsor me all through this hard time, all through COVID, all through being kept out of the ring, but for no fault of my own. he stood there and he supported me through this dark time, and I'm very grateful for that. And it will also, when I'm back in the ring, everyone will see how much I've been working, how much I've been in the cave and really pushing through and developing and even better. So watch this space, because the journey is going to be exciting.
That's a terrific point. That, look, Charlie, I appreciate your time. Let's catch up soon.
Thank you.